Now classified within the Star Wars Legends continuity, the Old Republic is easily one of the saga's most popular and intriguing time periods, spawning numerous novels, comics, and even an MMORPG with a peak subscriber base of over 1.7 million. The era and its cast of truly iconic characters adds an extra dimension to the galaxy already rich in detail and lore. But with millennia of content to sift through, it's difficult to keep tabs on each and every formation, uprising, war, and so on. That's why we here at Inside Star Wars have compiled a list of every single major event from the Old Republic era. Here is the complete timeline. A cruel and scientifically advanced species known as the Rakata establish a major galactic power. By wielding the Force to drive its machinery, the Rakatan Infinite Empire conquer worlds across the galaxy through its superior technology. But when a plague ravages its population, sparking a massive and violent slave revolt against the weakened empire, the Rakata's devastating rule finally comes to an end. A gathering of scholars and philosophers on the planet Typhon eventually results in the birth of the JEDI. However, despite their study of the balanced force, fearsome conflicts known as the Force Wars erupt. So violent are these bouts of infighting that a tremendous force cataclysm devastates their planet, forcing members of the Reformed Jedi Order to find sanctuary elsewhere. They soon flourish on the distant world of Ossus. Having freed themselves from the shackles of the Infinite Empire, the core worlds rebuild and unite to form the Galactic Republic. The signing of the Galactic Constitution on Coruscant swiftly follows, before reverse engineering of the Rakatan hyperdrive technology allows the Republic to further explore and rapidly expand. Finally, Jedi meet with the newly established government to pledge their support as defenders of the galaxy. Over the course of the next 3,000 years, the Republic managed to maintain peace and prosperity, all while exploring and charting the expansion region. Unfortunately, the Great Manifest period comes to a bitter end when the planet Alsakan challenges Coruscant for the right to be capital of the galaxy. An entire 10,000 years following the outbreak of the Alsakan conflicts, the Jedi Order gradually splinters as more and more of its members begin to practice the dark side of the Force. Exiled for twisting life itself and creating horrific mutations with their newfound powers, the Dark Jedi manufacture a monstrous army with hopes of revenge. This sparks the onset of the 100-Year Darkness. After a century of the grueling conflict, the banished Dark Jedi survivors discover the world of Korriban and its ancient inhabitants, the Sith. This powerful, force-sensitive, yet pliable species worship their new overlords and even serve them as willing slaves, so much that the exiles forge a new Sith civilization by interbreeding with the mighty natives, thus sowing the seeds of the Sith Empire. Black-eyed, heartless, and supremely strong on the dark side of the Force, the child who would be later known as the Sith Emperor is born. Merely 13 years old, the boy seizes control of his homeworld and earns the title Lord Vitiate. He then turns his back upon Imperial politics to hone his dark side abilities and amass an army of Sith followers. The first of many wars between the Sith Empire and the Galactic Republic erupts. Dark Lord Naga Sadow, having been led to Republic space through unwitting hyperspace explorers, launches a brutal conflict across entire planets. However, before he can engulf the capital world of Coruscant, the SITH within his own Sith ranks forces his army into retreat. The Republic gives chase to win the war and vows to decimate all remnants of the Sith Empire. Taking command of the crumbling Sith Empire merely 1 year later, Lord Vitiate swiftly executes the Sith Council. He would then consume the life force of thousands of Sith Lords in a terrifying ritual, doing so as a means of extending his own existence. With a further grasp on the dark side of the Force, the newly crowned Sith Emperor and his underlings retreat into deep space, to both rebuild and prepare for vengeance. Almost 2 decades spent scouring deep space would lead the Sith Empire to the forgotten jungle world of Dromund Kaas, where it quickly establishes a capital city. There, with the simple goal of completely annihilating the Republic, Vitiate begins training his military and building the Imperial Armada. Legendary clans of battle-hungry warriors, renowned for their proud and fearsome nature, unite under Mandalore the Ultimate to attack the fringes of Republic space. The Mandalorian crusade continues unchecked for a further decade due to the Republic's avoidance of yet another violent war. However, rogue Jedi led by defiant knights REVAN and MALAK begin to fight back. They ultimately defeat Mandalore the Ultimate, topple his Neo-Crusaders, and win the Mandalorian Wars for the Republic. As heroes of the Mandalorian Wars, REVAN and MALAK explore the unknown regions in search of the hidden Sith Empire. Unfortunately, Lord Vitiate turns both Jedi Knights to the dark side of the Force. He then tasks them with finding an ancient Rakata superweapon known as the Starforge. Little does the Sith Emperor know that by uncovering the powerful relic, REVAN will betray him and assume command of his empire. REVAN and MALAK, under the new titles of Darth, invade the Republic with hopes of conquering the people they once defended. REVAN comes bitterly close to achieving his goal before betrayal at the hands of his apprentice leaves him for dead. But thanks to the Jedi Order, who reprogram and reform his mind, he eventually strikes down Darth Malak, destroys the Starforge, and culminates the long and disastrous Jedi Civil War. With the death of its leader, the Sith Empire once more finds itself in a state of dismay. That is until Darth Sion, Darth Nihilus, and Darth Traya rise to restore the Order. Gathering their strength in secrecy, the Triumvirate of Sith emerge from Dromund Kaas to begin a brutal campaign upon the Jedi. But before completely wiping out their enemy, exiled Jedi Mitras Surik returns from obscurity with lethal force, paving the way for the Republic's recovery. In search of the remnants of the hidden Sith Empire, having been haunted by visions of the Sith Emperor and his turn to the dark side some 10 years prior, REVAN is captured and imprisoned on Dromund Kaas. Mitras Surik and Lord Scourge, who seemingly has turned his back upon Vitiate, stage a daring rescue mission. Freed, REVAN attempts to assassinate the Sith Emperor, only to be overpowered. The Jedi is then betrayed and imprisoned once more, this time for centuries, all thanks to the turncoat Scourge and his quest for brand new title, Emperor's Wrath. Returning from exile, the Sith Emperor orchestrates a cunning, ingenious, and surprise onslaught upon the Republic. As terror spreads throughout the galaxy, Imperial fleets dominate battles, old allies realign with the Empire, and Republican politicians turn against one another out of sheer panic. However, when the Battle of Bofurui ends in a stalemate, resulting in 3 decades of violent warfare, the Sith Empire makes a surprising move. By offering the chance of peace as a distraction, Imperials began the sacking of Coruscant. This leaves the Republic in a state of ruin and without any leverage when discussing terms of a much-needed truce. The Great War officially ends with the signing of the Treaty of Coruscant. This forces the Republic into removing its forces from battlefields across the galaxy as part of a ceasefire. The Sith Empire, by absorbing abandoned worlds, only continues to grow in power during this time. Knowing this full well, the Jedi Order returns to its ancient homeworld of Typhon. When border skirmishes and internal conflicts result in a tense standoff for over a decade, full-scale war inevitably breaks out. This looks to be the most devastating and far-reaching conflict yet, with every corner of the galaxy somehow becoming involved. With nearly 30,000 years to discuss and digest, everything covered today is merely a glimpse at what the Old Republic era has to offer. So, be sure to join us every week from now onward as we look more in detail at each of the aforementioned events, starting off with the rise and fall of the Rakatan Infinite Empire. If you've learned something new from today's video, be sure to leave us a like. To help out the channel that little bit extra, please do consider pledging to our Patreon page. And for all things inside Star Wars, press that subscribe button and notification bell. Thanks for watching.